Hi, hello everyone. Assalamualaikum. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Norfardilawati Musa. I am the Program Director for Master of Corporate Communication. So, welcome to our new episode of Coffee Talks, which today the topic is about AI and you, not I and you, but AI, Artificial Intelligence and you. So basically the aims of this topic is to ignite your curiosity and spark fresh insight about the topic. So for this purpose, we invite special panel to unravel the mysteries of AI and its impact on our life. So let me introduce the panel. Associate Professor Dr. Nantha Kumar. Dr. Nantha is the Deputy Dean for the Faculty of Technologies and Applied Sciences. So get ready to dive into the world of AI as Dr. Nantha present to you the stellar minds behind our AI and You Coffee Talk today. So, as we know, in today's fast evolving world, everything has gone digital, revolutionizing the way we live, from choosing a restaurant for dinner to keeping up with the latest trend happening in this world. So finding the perfect birthday gift, traveling, and decorating a house, and many more digital tools have us covered, because everything nowadays we do, we depend on technologies. We try to get some information from the technologies. Okay, but guess what? Behind all these seamless experiences, stand AI, working is magic. All right, so this AI has been turning head and sparking discussions all over the world. But have we ever wondered, especially me and the audience, that's how AI operates, and how, and even more integrally, how AI continues to shape our life. So we are about to demystify the world of AI right before our very eyes. All right. So to kick things off and pique the curiosity of the tech enthusiasts, let Dr. Nantha share with us, explain what AI is, in terms of anyone can understand, especially for the layman or common people like me, not those yang bukan technologies. Alright, so what is AI all about, and how this AI should be understood by the layman person, especially common people, because living in this current fast-paced digital era, we need to know what is AI all about. So please, Dr. Nantha.
Okay, thank you, Dila, for your kind introduction about myself and also some background information about AI. So, for your first question, what is AI? When we say AI, basically AI is a subfield of computer science. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, we have to remember that AI, or artificial intelligence, is a subfield of computer science. So when we say computer science, in this field, basically we develop systems. We create systems, software, and so on. So since AI is under computer science, so pretty much when I say AI, basically we want to create systems that can solve problems at the same time that require human intelligence. It's not just normal conventional systems. So when we develop normal conventional systems, the human intelligence is not there.
Okay.
But when you want to create a system, I mean system that has software and it requires human intelligence, so this is basically AI. And normally this kind of system, AI-based systems, is used for problem solving, reasoning, and also for learning, and also for perceptions. So these are the systems, that we normally use AI. Okay, so the key word here is system with human intelligence. Of course, we can't put human inside the system, but we try to create some kind of coding that mimic human intelligence. So basically, there is human cognition in this type of systems. And normally, most of the time, students or maybe public always ask me, when you do coding or programming for AI, and also when you do coding or programming for conventional systems, are there any difference between these two? Okay, it means coding or programming for conventional systems and also programming for AI. There is different. For example, if you do or you create a system, a conventional system, for example, online ticketing system, what will happen is that we create program, and then we supply data to the program, you get result.
Okay.
Okay, so that is conventional programming. For example, using C or Java to create some kind of conventional system, as I mentioned earlier, like online ticketing system. But when we want to create programs for AI, we take results,
Okay.
data,
Okay.
it will give you program.
Okay.
So this other way around. Okay, so conventional program, we have program, we have data. Data will go to the program. You have the
Okay.
result. But for AI program, you have the result.
Okay.
You put data. You
Alright.
get the program. The program normally in the context of AI, the program is known as model.
Model.
Okay, so that's the difference, because this is the one of the favorite questions normally asked by my student. Okay, if you do coding for AI and you do coding for conventional setup, what make it different? Okay, so this is the the answer. And when we talk about AI, we need to know there are types of AI, and these types of AI can be split into two, based on capability and also based on functionality. This is types of AI. Earlier about what is AI, how you do the coding, and then types of AI. So which also a kind of question, type of question students always ask me. Okay, when we talk about what is AI, so the next question they always ask me is types of AI. Okay, so when we say types of AI, we can see it from functionality and also capability. So let me focus on capability. Okay, if we see AI from capability, so there are three types of AI based systems. One they call it narrow AI, another one they call it general AI, and the third one they call it super AI. Okay, sounds a bit scary, but
Yeah,
super
scary to
AI.
me.
Okay, narrow AI basically is AI that only will do one kind of task, a specific task. For example, playing chess, search engine. When you use Google, when you use it, to search something, and that is considered narrow AI. It just will do one specific task. And if you ask the same AI machine to do a different task, it won't be able to perform the task. This is narrow AI, which is available now. Okay, we have it now. Okay, and the same goes for predictive systems. That is considered narrow based AI system. And then we also have general AI that will do whatever human do. This general AI able to do. But at the moment we don't have this kind of general AI. Is there on the on the research papers, but we don't have in implementation. The last one is super AI.
Super AI.
Okay, but super AI means it will surpass human intelligence. It can think. It has its, this AI-based system can think. It has its own creativity, and it has social intelligence.
We already have this.
We don't have. All these are on the research papers, but we will have it in 10 years time, or maybe in 5 years time. We're looking at how fast things have been progressing in this AI field. The general AI and super AI, we don't have it at the moment, but definitely we'll have it in the future. Okay, so from capability perspective, we only have narrow AI. We have machines capable to do a specific role. That's why they call it narrow. It's just confined to certain area.
What we use nowadays, just narrow type.
Narrow type.
Okay, the narrow type itself, I think something that we can proud of.
Yes, something we can proud.
Something that impress for common people like me. Okay.
So if you ask that narrow type AI to do a different kind of task, it won't be able to do. For example, search engine. You only can use it to search contents.
Existing data.
You can use it to do other things. So that is types of AI from capability perspective. Sometimes they also classify these AI systems based on functionality, functions. Okay, so when we say functions, so we can say AI, we can see AI systems from reactive perspective. They call it reactive machines. Limited memory. They also call it another one, theory of mind, and self-aware. So there are three. From capability perspective, there are three. Right, but if you see it from functionality, capability, there are four. There are four types of functionality. With regard to types of AI, how we want to classify AI system. Let me now just explain briefly about reactive machines. So nama pun dah reactive kan, dia bukan proaktif. Very reactive. It means passive. So reactive machine does not have memory.
Okay.
Does not have memory. It only make decision based on data that it has at that current time.
Okay.
So that is known as reactive machines. For
Reactive
example,
machines.
rule-based AI systems
Okay.
and also certain predictive analytics, comes under this category.
Okay.
Reactive machines.
Alright.
We have it now.
Oh.
Okay, we have it now. Okay,
Okay.
no issue. We have it now. As I mentioned earlier, we have predictive analytics.
Okay.
Okay, and we also have rule-based system.
Alright.
Last time known as expert system.
Expert
Okay,
system.
so these are considered reactive machines because they don't have memory.
Alright.
They make decision based on data they have,
Okay.
and they can learn. They can learn from previous experience. Okay,
Alright.
that's why.
Imitation.
So that's why it is known as reactive machines.
Okay.
Another category is limited memory.
Alright.
When I say limited memory, dah tahu ada memory, but
Okay.
limited.
Okay.
Ada memory yang sikit.
Alright.
Okay, so since it has a limited memory, it means it can learn from previous experience
Oh.
and also based on the current data given to it and also on the previous experience. But limited memory. Okay. Limited memory, it means it can't have a very sophisticated kind of functions.
Alright.
But with this limited memory, it can make decision, and normally it has a sensor because it can store certain external information.
Alright.
Example is self-driving car.
Okay.
Now these people are talking about Tesla, kan?
Yes.
So Tesla basically comes under limited memory.
Alright.
Okay, not reactive machines.
Okay.
If Tesla is reactive machine, basically will end up with accidents because
Okay.
you don't have
Alright.
previous experience.
Alright.
Okay, so Tesla or self-driving car is comes under limited memory.
Okay.
So limited memory we have Tesla.
We have
So it means
Tesla.
we have this kind of technology.
Alright.
The last two I'm going to mention is theory of mind and also self-aware. Theory of mind basically it has a detailed information about the external entities. Okay, means this AI system has information about buildings. It has information about humans.
Okay.
Based on this information, it will do certain tasks.
Alright.
Okay, so this is theory of mind. We don't have it at the moment.
Okay.
This is based on what the researchers has envisioned in the future.
Alright.
Okay. The last one is self-aware. Ini pun nampak sophisticated. Self-aware. Self-aware. Okay, self-aware. This is very sophisticated because it will surpass the human intelligence.
Oh.
It can think, and it also has its own belief.
Okay.
So
Wow.
this is go beyond human thinking and
Alright.
also human something that human can imagine.
Macam stand alone. Dia boleh
Yes.
function.
Just function. Okay. It means, for example, if you take a robot that can think, that its own belief, it has own wisdom, this is considered self-aware. We don't have it at the moment.
Okay.
Of course, we have robots, but
Yes.
robots with a limited function, it was pre-programmed to do certain tasks.
Yeah.
This is not self-aware kind of AI system.
Okay.
Okay, so at the moment, if you see from functionality, we only have reactive machines,
Alright.
and also we have this limited memory
Okay.
based AI-based system. We don't have a theory of mind. We don't have self-aware, but
it will happen soon.
will happen because we see how things are developing.
Uh-huh.
The technology that comes into AI, I think we will have it in the future.
Okay.
Of course, nowadays in a country in Japan or in China,
Alright.
they're talking about robots that can think, that have its own wisdom, but it is still in the lab for research purposes. Okay, of course, in the near future, we can see it happen.
Okay.
And we may start using it.
Alright.
Okay, and also under this, what is AI? I mean, when it comes to definition, we also need to know the techniques people used to develop AI-based systems. Okay. So earlier I was talking about types of AI systems. We can look it from functionality and capability.
Alright.
But when you want to develop AI-based systems, what kind of technique that we can use? Okay. Initially it started with rule-based. Rule-based. Okay. Rule-based. They use rule-based in order to create expert systems. For example, 30, 40 years ago, certain hospitals, they have this system. Before, the patient want to see the doctor, they can interact with the system. So the system will ask the user to input, like what are the symptoms that you have.
Okay.
So the user can kick in, okay, I fever.
Alright.
We'll ask, okay, temperature.
Okay.
And then it will ask whether you have this kind body pain. Then the user will key in certain information. Based on the information the user has keyed in, the system, this expert system will tell the user, okay, you are having this kind of illness. These are the drugs that you need to take. This is expert system. So the knowledge is gained from human. So human or the doctor, they will hard code whatever knowledge they have in their mind, they
Okay.
transfer into this expert system.
Alright.
Okay, so this expert system gain the knowledge
Uh-huh.
or the power
Mm-hmm.
from the knowledge that been injected by the human. Human means the
Okay.
expert.
Alright.
Okay, so it started with rule-based system.
Uh-huh.
But now we have the, of course, rule-based system still around,
Mm-hmm.
but now these people are using another technique. They call it machine learning.
Machine learning.
So when you have machine learning, it means this AI-based system try to learn from historical data.
Alright.
From the historical data, it will try to make certain conclusion.
Oh.
When I say conclusion, it's basically prediction, accurate prediction.
Okay.
So rule-based system don't have data.
Alright.
Human will, whatever knowledge they have in their mind, they just hard code it in the system.
Okay.
There is no data involved. It's just a knowledge.
Okay.
But when it comes to machine learning, which is the current techniques people are using now to create a AI-based system.
Mostly machine learning that we use nowadays.
Yes, rule-based still there,
Yeah.
you know. But the prominent technique in AI nowadays is machine learning,
Okay.
where they take historical data,
Uh-huh.
they will train the data.
Okay.
Once they train the data, so this AI system will know. Okay, it can make conclusion or prediction based on historical data.
Okay.
So we make predictions for current scenario or for the future scenario.
Okay.
And nowadays, people using hybrid technique where they combine machine learning approaches and also rule-based system. So they bring human knowledge, they bring historical data,
Alright.
and they create a AI-based system. So they want to create, enhance the effectiveness of the system. So that is deep learning. Machine learning. Maybe some of audience will ask me, why we don't have a machine learning 30 years, 40 years ago?
Yes.
Why we started with rule-based system?
Yes.
It's a good question, because if you see the power of storage and also the power of processing power of the computer, 30, 40 years ago, we can't keep a lot of data.
Alright.
If you still remember last time when I was in university, the gig
Yes.
is very small.
Yes.
The memory storage is very small and very expensive.
Yes.
So you can't store a lot of data there.
Yes.
But now it's cheaper. The storage is cheaper, and you can put trillions bit of data.
Yes.
Last time we talked about mega. Now we are talking about giga, and it's increasing.
Yes.
And it's getting cheaper.
Yeah.
So since the processing power of computer has increased tremendously.
Alright.
So with this, we can use data
Yes.
for AI,
Yes.
which you can't do it 30, 40 years ago, because you don't have a platform to store the data, and you don't have that computational power to process the data. So end up we're using rule-based system.
Alright.
Okay, and nowadays people are talking about ChatGPT, the advanced AI system that can do a more sophisticated task. All these are done through deep learning.
Deep learning.
Deep learning technique. This is another technique, but when we say deep learning, is a subset of machine learning. It is not a new, what you call totally a new technique. It's a technique that comes under machine learning. It means they still have data.
Okay.
They're going to train data, but when they train the data, they're trying to mimic the human brain to analyze the data. In machine learning, we don't use the so-called the analogy of human brain to process data. But here in this deep learning, they're using this, we're trying to mimic the human brain in order to analyze and also to interpret and also to make prediction. So that is deep learning. So besides the rule-based machine learning and deep learning, there are also other techniques that they used in order to create a AI-based system. Another one is known as natural language processing, NLP. It means that we have so many languages out there. We want to analyze the languages and we want to create new contents based on these languages. And one good example, ChatGPT, where people ask questions using just a text and it will produce new text. This is basically NLP, natural language processing. Another technique that people use is normally when dealing with images is for computer vision, where these we can take all the images out there, we can analyze the images, and it can do certain tasks. For example, Facebook tagging, especially when you upload the photo images. We just upload the images. The Facebook will ask us, this is your friend. For example, this is your friend, Amina. Would you want me to tag this person?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just wondering how this Facebook knows that this person is Amina.
Yeah, we
just
feel
example,
like a stalker lah.
okay. Basically, it has analyzed the images. It can compare This
Okay.
new photo
Alright.
is like similar to the photo of Amina,
Alright.
uploaded in her own account.
Yes.
So it can do tagging. So this is
Okay.
basically computer vision, you know. So not only AI can produce, can analyze data,
Okay.
numbers or text, it
Mm-hmm.
also can analyze images. So
Alright.
this comes under computer vision.
Okay.
So that's my answer to your question. You
Alright.
know, what is AI? So I give you the meaning of AI, how it
Alright.
started. I mean, you know, from which field it started,
Mm-hmm.
and the types of AI, and so
Alright.
techniques that can be used to develop AI-based systems.
It's quite impressive when I listen to your explanation about what is AI. So I get some new knowledge here today. Okay, so now we move to the next question. It's basically about the history of
Ah.
AI. So, okay, Doctor, it's hard to believe because this AI is only happened a few decades ago.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so if we look at 5 years back, 5 tahun yang lepas, AI punya field ni dah orang kata has made major progress. Alright, kita boleh tengok we use this kind of technologies in everything. Alright, so even dah ada major progress dalam all standard of sub area. Okay, contohnya for example macam hari ni kita gunakan AI, the expert dia gunakan AI to dalam segi medical diagnosis, to automatekan customer service, to interior design and etc. So it's quite impressive for layman people like me, common people like me. Alright, so how did AI come into this world and how this thing happened? So maybe Doctor can briefly explain the history of AI.
Okay, thank you, Dila, for the question. And if I interact with you know, some of my students, they have this misconception that AI just happened recently. Just happened like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Worst case scenario, some of them have this thinking that it just happened recently, very recently.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Actually, if you see the history, AI has started, you know, as a research process in the 50s or maybe in the 40s.
40s.
And the person who started this is a researcher in US with the name Alan Turing. Okay, so he's the one who started writing research papers on this. In fact, he managed to create some basic systems. Of course, when we see his system in the current time, it looks basic, but in his time, it's advanced system.
Yes.
According to Alan Turing, he has produced a research reports. According to Alan Turing, he propagate this term, thinking machine. He said any machine that can think is basically a new horizons in this computing field. For example, if someone interacting with the system and the person is not aware that he or she interacting with a machine, it means that is considered another horizons of computing. He didn't use the term AI because the term AI wasn't there. So the person who started this, Alan Turing. Okay, so he propagated the idea of what you call thinking machine. Only in 1956, another researcher, the name of McCarthy, he organized a conference in Denmark, US, where he invited all the researchers working in this area. They don't call it AI. Anyone working on this new paradigm, okay, so he invited all of them to this workshop.
They don't call it AI, but it is AI.
It's AI. Yes. Okay, but they're working on certain analytics. Okay, but they don't use the AI. Okay, because when Alan Turing was working on his paper on this thinking machine, the AI term wasn't there. So in 1956, McCarthy organized a workshop where invited all the researchers working in that line. And in that workshop, McCarthy introduced the term AI, artificial intelligence, in 1956.
56. Lama dah.
Yes. Then he said this artificial intelligence will be a field in computer science. So that's when people start using this AI, this term AI. So when Alan Turing was working on his thinking machine, he was just using the term thinking machine. Sometimes he was just using logical reasoning. So these are the terms they're using. Different researchers using different terms. So only it was standardized in 1956 with the term AI, artificial intelligence.
She's the one coined the term
He.
AI. He?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
He's the one that coined.
Okay. So after that, when people are start working in this line, when they're looking at logical reasoning, they start using AI. Of course, AI that time, as I mentioned earlier, started with rule-based systems, where whatever knowledge the human has, they put it in the system, hard-coded in the system, so they call it AI system, which basically a rule-based system. At that time, we don't have data because we don't have the storage, so they don't have machine learning. So it all started there in 1956. So that's the historical perspective of AI.
Okay, so now we go to the next questions. How does AI affects our life? So basically AI or machine learning ni have seamlessly integrated into our daily routine. All right, so making tasks easier, smoother and more efficient, daripada managing email to providing directions and offering entertainment suggestions. AI ni memang kita rasa dia punya kesan tu yang affect our life. So maybe based on doktor punya perspective or maybe doktor punya own experience, how AI does affect our life?
Okay, AI definitely will impact or affect our life, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay, but I just give one example. All of us are familiar with what you call email. Okay, when you want to compose email, we are in the mix of typing the email messages. This email system can recommend the sentences to complete our particular sentence. Okay, this is basically AI. And we sometimes we won't we don't aware realize that basically this is AI. And the earlier example that I mentioned is about the photo tagging in Facebook. That is AI. Sometimes we don't aware that is AI. So unknowingly we have been exposed to AI. And another example I can give is that when you use Google Maps or Waze, sometimes we follow the way recommended by Waze or Google Map, and sometimes we miss the road, and we will quickly reroute us to to the new paths that we should take. And this is also AI. It can analyze, and sometimes there could be 2 or 3 paths to go to a certain location. It will try to recommend, this Waze or Google Map will try to recommend the optimized route, taking into consideration the traffic jam. This is basically AI. But we don't aware that, there is a background process happening, and this is facilitated by AI. Okay. So we can see how it has affected our life, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay, when we say how it affect our life, we can see it from different perspective. We can see it from how it gives convenience and make it efficient, more efficient for us. For example, in e-commerce, when we take e-commerce system, if you go to Amazon, you do certain purchases, and then you log out. When you log in again, based on your previous habits, transaction, it can recommend new products that is aligned to your interest. So this is basically AI that comes to convenience and also efficiency. And in healthcare, when you want to do certain medical tests, especially X-rays, it can analyze these medical images, and this AI system can tell you, quickly that you suspected having cancer. Or maybe you have some lung infection. And this thing, many years ago, if you are using the manual processor, will take months or may take weeks. But this medical imaging, just put it in the AI system, immediately will tell you. So we can save life because of this what you call early prediction.
It's very efficient lah.
Very efficient. So this how it affect life. From this convenience and also efficiency, and it also affects us on the automation. Certain things are routine and dangerous work, and all this can be taken over by AI. Routine work. For example, if you take a manufacturing plant, they have to do certain manual tedious work every day. Very tiring. For example, if you take a microchip manufacturing plant, once it's been assembled, the human have to analyze, or have to go through or inspect the certain manufacturing product, for example, chips. And this is very tiring. But with AI, you just insert in under AI system, it can do some imaging, it can detect whether it's a defect or not. So this tiring work can be taken over by AI. So that's how
Yeah.
it affecting. Of course, there's another issue, job loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
The impact lah.
Okay, so we will talk about it
Yeah,
in a
later.
different question. And also on security. AI
Security.
tools also can provide certain surveillance. It provides certain public safety.
Okay.
So this will affect us, for the good way.
Okay.
Another one is decision making. As I
Okay.
mentioned earlier, certain decisions can be made faster.
Yeah.
Government start using certain data,
Mm-hmm.
and they start putting it in the system, and based on the conclusion or prediction, they
Okay.
start formulating policy.
Alright.
It's not like they have to do survey, they
Okay.
have to, all these are time consuming.
Okay.
But this data, with AI system, they can make a fast decision.
Yeah, true.
Another angle how AI affect us is content creation.
Content
Because
creation.
the data are there, texts
Yeah.
are there, images are there,
Yes.
and the systems can create content for us.
Yeah.
For example, a very easy example I can give, a quick example is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We just said, give me a content on this.
Yes.
It will dump or
Yeah.
give you, the
Yeah.
type content that you want.
Yes.
Not only content, certain AI systems can create music for you, can
Yeah.
compose music for you.
True.
So there's no requirement for us to be trained
Yeah.
to be a music director or composer.
Yeah.
You can just tell, I want a music, something like this.
Okay.
It will produce the music for you. The
So,
same goes for lyrics.
yeah.
And also people start using AI system for climate change. Nowadays
Climate
people
change.
are talking about climate change,
Yeah.
which is, the weather is unpredictable.
Yes.
And of course, all this data about the climate, the weather goes to the system.
Yeah.
And difficult for human to analyze and make a quick prediction.
Mm-hmm.
But AI can take all this data from
Yes.
all these weather stations,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can make a quick prediction
Okay.
about drastic changes in the climate that's happening now.
Yes.
So that's how AI is affecting our life nowadays. So we
Yeah.
can see it not from one angle,
Yes.
from multiple angles.
Yes.
Convenience,
Yes.
security, decision making, climate
True.
change, so
True.
on.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dr. Nana, for that, for answering that questions. Now we move to the fifth questions. Does AI give more good than harm? So, we can't deny AI hold great promise. Okay. So, and its ongoing development suggests that it will continue to flourish in a manner benefits of all us. Okay. However, since I am not an expert in AI, and because my background is in communication, so communication people basically provide content to this kind of technology or machine learning. All right. So, and I never involved or I never built any machine learning before. So, but based on my experience and in my own works, AI does help me, especially in my research, development, etc. But AI also help us to automate any boring tasks, routine tasks macam Dr. cakap tadi. But also there are significant concerns related to this AI, like for example privacy issues, misinformation, and potential for the technology to work in ways that difficult to mitigate and other unknown factors. Alright, so based on Dr. Nanda punya perspective, does this AI do give more good than harm or the other way around?
Okay, thank you, Dila, for this question. So it's a very interesting question because nowadays when we talk about AI, people always talk about, what are the effect, the negative effect of AI. Of course, if you take any systems, whether it is AI based or non-AI based system, not only system, even non-system elements, if we misuse it, of course there will be some negative consequences. So the same goes for AI.
Okay.
But from my experience, AI will give more good things to us. Okay, that's no doubt. Okay, will give a more positive elements or effect on us. But there are certain negative consequences that we also be mindful when we are dealing with this AI system. Sometimes it's created by us, or it also could be created by the system itself. So we have to be mindful of this. Okay, one thing I would say is a job loss. I mentioned earlier, about because certain routine tasks that done by the human can be taken over by AI system. So there is a consequences. I will call it a negative consequences because there will be job loss. Okay. So that's that one negative consequences. Of course, we can see from positive consequences, but when there is a job loss, so we have to create new job for them. So this AI will give opportunity for new jobs.
Okay.
And another example I can give is ChatGPT. With ChatGPT, people are talking about nowadays there is no no need to hire editor because ChatGPT can can fine tune the paragraph, so job loss is there. So that's the negative consequences. Okay, of course, from our perspective, from human perspective, we have to retrain ourselves, upskilling, rescaling, in order to to learn new things. Another negative consequences is biasness and also discrimination. Will can happen because we train this AI system using on data, historical data. Let me give one example. It was published in one of the newspaper in the US. Okay, they developed a few years ago in US. They developed a system in order to determine the crime rate in certain area because they want to be proactive in order to tackle the crime that's happening in that particular area. So they have trained the system using the historical data. So when the system want to give prediction, there is some kind of discrimination that happens because the system pinpoint that certain people belongs to this particular ethnicity will involve in crime. So this is considered a prejudice, discrimination. So this because this system been trained on certain historical data, but it's just a data. So AI can't make a conclusion that this group of people has more tendency to involve in the crime activities. So this is biasness, discrimination. This is come from the system, but we as the person who create the system, who develop the system, have to mindful on this.
True. Because the culture itself evolved, not only the technology evolved, human also evolved.
So the crime, we can't tag crime to certain group. The same goes for gender. You can't say that male will have do this, female do this. So when it comes to gender or ethnicity or religion, so this AI system need to be moderated by the human, the person who create the system. Because this is another negative consequences that will happen. Another one is loss of privacy, because when we interact the system, AI system, we have to key in our information, and the past data is there. So they will retrain the system using our data. So it means our systems are exposed. When our systems of data information is exposed, so there is a privacy issue will arise from this this issue. And also this ethical dimension also involved. For example, some certain companies or maybe certain countries start using AI tools to monitor some of the people.
Scary.
Or in the company they want to monitor staff. Sometimes it's for spying or surveillance. So this will lead to another question, whether it is ethical to do so. So these are the negative consequences of AI. But I will say this is quite limited and manageable and can be readjusted to fulfill our culture and also our belief. But the benefits that we will gain from AI systems are greater than the negative things that will come up from AI systems.
After all, we also have rules and regulations that can handle all these kind of things.
So that's the reason why many countries, they start enacting laws on proper use of AI, because they want to mitigate the negative consequences of AI. So it's interesting. AI is interesting, but there are certain negative consequences that we have to mindful. So that's why when we are using AI-based systems, we have to be careful with the kind of data that we are typing into the system, because it will be stored somewhere, and that our information will be used for future prediction.
And it will be there forever.
Yes. And now these people are talking about cybersecurity. People can leak, access certain certain information, certain data. They call it unauthorized access to data. So that's how how it will affect in a negative manner. But don't worry, the positive elements are greater than the negative elements, and negative elements, as I mentioned earlier, can be managed, can be readjusted to to mitigate whatever negative things that will happen.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nanda. Now we go to the last questions. Okay, the last question is about the disruption in education because of the AI. I have read some article, I have watched some videos, and I do have one video that I would like to highlight here. So this video was about the feedback received from primary school children in the United States and other countries regarding how their friends are cheating using AI such as ChatGPT to complete their schoolwork like writing essay, review novel, doing their maths and etc. So most of the parents from this school, involved school, are concerned about this kind of trend will hinder the student from learning and thinking creatively and critically. So what Dr. thinks, how this disruption caused by AI to our education system in Malaysia, for example?
Okay, thank you, Dila, for the interesting question. This is about AI, how it has disrupted our education sector. When we say disruptive, most of the time people will see it from negative perspective.
Yes.
But if you ask me, disruptive is also positive, at the same time also can be negative.
Yes.
Okay, let us look from the positive
Yes,
perspective.
okay.
Because as I mentioned earlier, disruptive, positive disruptive, and also negative disruptive.
Okay.
Let us focus on positive things first.
Okay.
Okay, when this AI in education has led to many tangible results.
Alright.
Okay, good results. For example, universities, school and colleges start using AI systems to personalize the learning.
Okay.
Last time they call it one size fit all.
Alright.
Okay, it means teacher will be there, the
Yes.
same content applies to everyone.
True.
But now, different students will be receiving different contents when they start using AI-based system. Weak students will get a more moderated content.
Alright.
Advanced students will get a content that match their skill. So
Alright.
this is, they call it personalized learning.
Okay.
It's not like one size fit all.
True.
And with this personalized learning, each students are happy with their learning they get because they can follow the kind of learning or education content that been pushed to them because it's matched their thinking ability.
Alright.
As they are progressing, the content will be upgraded to match their, to match their thinking level or their performance.
Okay.
So this is positive disruption.
Alright.
Because we can monitor the students.
Yes.
Okay, it's not like those days, you go to the classroom, each of them will get the same content. So the weak students will be struggling, and the advanced students, they're happy because they're getting the kind of content they want.
True.
So with this AI, we can categorize the content.
True.
We push it to the students according to their performance or achievements.
Yeah.
That is personalized learning. Another one, for the teachers, when it comes to assessment, certain assessment or grading can be automated.
Alright.
So when certain things can be automated, it means the teacher or the instructor can focus on other productive work.
Okay.
They can focus on their lesson plans.
Alright.
Okay, they can focus on how how they can focus on creating more better questions, assessment questions, instead of focusing on routine work. Because all this routine work like grading, AI systems can do. Nowadays we have certain AI systems. They can do marking or grading.
Alright.
Okay, so this is a positive, what you call disruption. Another one is predictive analytics in education, where when the students learning, for example, especially they're using a learning management system or any management education system, they're using it. So their historical interactions are tracked by the system.
Alright.
Based on this tracking, it can this AI system can do prediction whether this is at-risk student. At-risk means at risk of failing or at risk of dropping out. So it can do this prediction. By using this prediction, the instructor can do proactive or can take proactive measures to rectify the situation. So if you have 50 students in the class, with this predictive analytics, it can single out these 20 students are at risk of failing the subject. So the students or the instructor can ignore the performing students, the 30 students, and can focus on that 20 students, the so-called at-risk students. So this is predictive analytics. So this is positive disruption. And we also in education, we can use AI to create content.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, we can use ChatGPT
True.
to produce content, but of
Yeah.
course we have to make sure the
Yes.
content is accurate and
Yeah.
is valid, and
Yes.
we give a proper citation.
Yes.
Okay, and then we can use it
All
to
right.
create content.
Mm-hmm.
We also can use these AI tools. I mean, the students can use it in order for their career planning. For
Okay.
example, they can tell system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for example, if the system is on career planning,
Mm-hmm.
they can tell the system, okay, this is my interest.
Okay.
This is my forte.
Okay.
Okay, and the system will probe them. Okay,
Oh.
can you elaborate more on your interest?
All
They will,
right.
in a very spontaneous manner, they will
Uh-huh.
give their feedback. Then the system will tell,
Uh-huh.
based on the feedback you're given,
Uh-huh.
you are inclined towards this career.
Okay.
So they can use it for career planning.
Yes.
Going back to the last question, the
Uh-huh.
negative disruption, always
Uh-huh.
there. So
Always
earlier
there.
I mentioned about the
Yeah.
positive disruptive. Now let us focus on negative disruptive. When we have AI, students or
Uh-huh.
maybe teachers,
Uh-huh.
they overly dependent on the AI systems.
All right.
It means they're expecting quick answer.
Mm-hmm.
When they're expecting quick answer,
Okay.
there is no critical thinking will take place.
Yeah.
Okay, students they don't think
Yes.
because the answers are given to them.
Yes.
Because the thinking done by the system.
True.
Okay, so students don't need to think. So they
Okay.
get instant answer from the AI system,
All right.
and then they use it in the assignment.
Yes.
Okay, another issue is ethical, as
Yeah.
Dila mentioned. Students start using ChatGPT.
True.
For example, they want to know, explain about concept A.
Yes.
They ask the question ChatGPT.
Mhm.
ChatGPT will give the answer,
Yes.
and they copy paste into the assignment, and they
True.
submit it to the
Uh-huh.
to their teacher or
Uh-huh.
to their lecturer. So this is unethical.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to control because students must remember that
Mm-hmm.
they are the loser.
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
not the instructor or not the
Yes.
lecturer. They are the loser because they don't get the knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, so one way to tackle this to create awareness
Yeah.
to the students, telling them that they are the loser.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they won't get the knowledge. They
Yeah.
don't get the skills
True.
by engaging with this unethical,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call platforms.
Platforms.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, another one is when we are dealing with AI systems,
Uh-huh.
there is no social elements.
Yeah.
There is no what you call emotional
Yes.
elements there attached to
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Unlike when we are dealing with teachers,
Yes.
a human teacher,
Yeah.
there is a social attachment,
Yeah.
emotional attachment
True.
given to the students.
Mm-hmm.
But when we are dealing with AI system, there is no emotion,
Uh-huh.
there is no social element. So that's
True.
another negative aspect
Yeah.
of AI. AI is good,
Uh-huh.
but there is no emotion. Okay, but we yet to have, earlier I mentioned about
Mhm.
self-aware systems,
Uh-huh.
super AI,
Yes.
where there is intelligence, there is a
Yes.
wisdom, but we don't have it at the moment.
Yeah. Soon.
So these are the disruptive things that will happen.
All right.
Another one is social inequality.
Uh-huh.
Those certain countries,
Mhm.
certain schools, they have access to this technology.
Uh-huh.
So these students will have the advantages.
All right.
They can gain access to this system.
Yes.
Certain countries, third world countries, or
Uh-huh.
certain schools, they don't have that privilege.
Yes.
So there is a widening gap
Yes.
among the students.
Between those who have and who have not.
Yes. So this is another aspect of this disruptive element,
Yeah.
negative elements of this AI.
I.
So that's it, Dila. So always remember, there is a positive
Yeah.
disruptive and also negative
Yes.
disruptive element.
So we are the one have to
Balance it?
evaluate,
Yes.
it
Yes.
on our own criteria or
Yes.
any rule and guideline that available to
Yeah.
us. So we just need to know how to do it. That's
Yes.
it.
It's very simple. Any system,
Uh-huh.
whether it's AI or non-AI system, if
Yes.
you misuse it or you
Yes.
abuse it,
Yeah.
it will lead to the wrong path.
True. Okay. I think that's all for today based on what Dr. Nantha tell us just now. So what I can conclude that we can never not be without this AI. All right. As we go along, we have to know how to embrace this artificial intelligence. All right. So for education industry, the only thing that we have to do, especially for the teachers, for the lecturers, we should find a solution on how to impart knowledge in each individual and based on this current situation, and how can we impart critical system, because again we can't avoid this artificial intelligence.
Yes, we can avoid.
We
True.
can't avoid. So with that, I open to the audience if you have any questions to ask Dr. Nantha. Okay. Alright, so I think that's all. Goodbye for now till we meet again. So thank you very much for participating in our coffee talk today, and bye.